Good morning, this is B. Nagesh, retired civil servant, MA in Political Science and Public Administration. Today we do a topic in General Studies Paper 2, Mains 2020. So 2020 paper, we have analyzed sufficient number of questions in the polity part, governance and a bit in international relations. So continuing the discussion on the GS2 paper, we take a question which has come in the Mains 2020. General Studies 2, International Relations. As I said earlier, international relations is one component of the General Studies 2 paper which has traditionally occupied 60 to 65 marks. The question for discussion: Indian diaspora has a decisive role in the polity and economy of America and European countries. First, we start with the introduction in the paper, role of Indian diaspora in the politics and economy of America and Europe. First, an introduction. The Indian diaspora is playing a dominant role in the economy and polity of America and European countries. Then we then we see the specific contributions in Europe, specific contributions in America. 2/3 of the Indian community in the 15-member European Union, the single largest ethnic minority are the Indians. So the 2/3 of the Indian community in the 15-member European Union form the single largest ethnic minority. Important personalities who have played a dominant role in the economy of Europe: Lakshmi Mittal, the Hinduja brothers, and Swaraj Paul. Now, the Indian diaspora is playing a dominant role in the media, like holding important positions in the BBC. Then they are running a large number of ethnic TV channels. The Indian diaspora, especially in UK, is promoting charities for health and education in their states, in their home states, in their native places. The Indian diaspora has contributed to British culture. Then the pro-Indian lobby has found a place in the major political parties of UK, the Labour Party and the Democratic Party. The Indian diaspora is full of computer experts, teachers and scientists contributing to the economy. So in the economic aspect, I said how there are prominent industrialists, prominent businessmen. I spoke of Lakshmi Mittal, I spoke of the Hinduja brothers and Swaraj Paul. They're contributing to the economy by being top scientists, teachers, experts. Then I said how they're influencing the polity. They are pro-Indian lobbies there in the Liberal Party, the Labour Party, Democratic Party. Then how they are contributing to India is they are promoting charities for health and education in their native states, in the native villages. This is the contribution of the diaspora as far as Europe is concerned. In the US, 6% of the total population in the US, the highest earning sector are the Indian diaspora. It is the fastest growing ethnic community, high profile in medicine, infrastructure and higher education. So the Indian diaspora is playing a dominant role in the economy of the US, and as I said, they have played a dominant role in channeling funds when there was a there was a natural calamity at Latur and the Gujarat earthquakes. The overseas Indians played a dominant role. Now India has attracted investment in the General Electric, Microsoft, and IBM. So the Indian diaspora has also in the US has helped in channeling investment into several companies. They're a high profile in medicine, infrastructure, and higher education. And as I also said, 6% of the total, they form 6% of the total population in the US, and they are the highest earning, the fastest growing ethnic group. Now, certain issues are there relating to the Indian diaspora. The first thing is the government has initiated the practice of annual Pravasi Bharat Divas in India and abroad to honor the prominent NRIs. Then Salman Awards are given to the NRIs and persons of Indian origin. Some more initiatives are required as far as the Indian diaspora is concerned. If it has to play a decisive role in the polity and economy, some more initiatives are required. One important suggestion would be, now we have the Indian Council for Cultural Relations. It can develop links with groups like the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and Ramakrishna Mission, which are functioning worldwide. So this is a place wherein the government can develop cultural linkages with the Indian diaspora through already established agencies like the Ramakrishna Mission and the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. The ultimate objective would be to develop models like the British Council and the Alliance franchise. So this should be the role model for us for interacting with the Indian diaspora. I said we already have established groups like the Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan and the Ramakrishna Mission, which have offices worldwide. The Indian Council of Cultural Research can utilize this to develop cultural linkages. Then, ethnic media, there is a need for a data bank to preserve the data regarding the ethnic minorities. Regarding economic development, that is related, whether it is investment, international trade, tourism, for economic rejuvenation, certain reforms are required in the clearances, FDI clearances, so that the bureaucratic obstacles or the bureaucratic hurdles are removed. That is why we speak of second generation reforms. Reforms to attract the investment by the NRIs into India. Single window channel, as far as FDI is cleared, is connected, FDI related. One more important suggestion which could be incorporated is treating hospitals as infrastructure. Now we are lagging as far as healthcare is concerned. So why not use the talent, the aid and the expertise of the NRIs for attracting investment and high class medical equipment. This can be done only if hospital is treated as infrastructure. Then another suggestion would be deeper links with scientists and technologies of Indian origin. Now, scientists and technologists who are outside India, develop links with them, utilize their contributions, and see how best this can be used for for promoting science and technology in India. So, for a question on the role of the Indian diaspora, we took, since the question restricts itself to America and European countries, we spoke of the role played by the Indian diaspora in the UK, the economic role, then the political lobbying, then we spoke of the role in USA, and basically Indian diaspora is a part of the soft power diplomacy and how it acts as a major initiative in channelizing investment into India, apart from contributing their talent and expertise to the countries where they are residing. We spoke of certain, see the government, of course, It conducts the annual Pravasi Bharat Divas, then the system of Sanman Awards, all that is there. But apart from that, what suggestions we are offering is how you can develop the local groups like the Bharati Vidya Bhavan and the Ramakrishna Mission on the models of, say, the British Council and Alliance franchise, so that the cultural links, the cultural heritage with the Indian diaspora is further strengthened. This can be done by the Indian Council of Cultural Relations. We also suggested a data bank for the ethnic minorities, and we said how for improving the economic development, that is investment, international trade and tourism, how we need to streamline the FDI clearances, we need to require second generation reforms. Then we also spoke of how hospitals should be treated as infrastructure for attracting investment, high class medical equipment. So this would lead to the health sector, rapid development of the health sector, equipment, funds, and treating hospitals as infrastructure. This way you can attract better investment, and the health sector will receive the much needed boost. Finally, I said deeper links with the scientists and technologists of Indian origin. When we speak of deeper links with scientists and technologists of Indian origin, we mean how the talent available abroad could be tapped, could be utilized for the benefit of the country. So the Indian diaspora has a very dynamic role to play as far as the economic development, the scientific development of the country is concerned, by the tapping the talent available. So this is how an answer for 150 words is to be written. As I said earlier, with whatever we have discussed, you are free to add, you are free to enrich the answer, but see to it that whatever we have discussed, this remains part of the answer, because we have strategically made the components of the answer into three parts with an introduction, with their specific role in economic and political development. Then what initiatives are required for so that the Indian diaspora can play a more effective role. This is how you would prepare your answer. Finally, I would suggest, since the lot of time is there for the mains, adopt the practice of writing 2 questions a day. 2 questions, that is 150 words or 200 words. See that you write it in the specific time limit, the word limit. As I said, answering 20 questions in 3 hours, you are left with an average of about 8 to 9 minutes per question. And my advice to all the aspirants, don't leave out any question. Whatever you know, you answer, because each mark counts for the interview. Writing answers and getting them evaluated by the faculty will stand you in longer perspective. Thank you.